Hi, I'm Dr. Back. 3 weeks ago, we started a crazy initiative to save our economy and to save our industry, the dental industry. With this, we arrived with the draft of a plan and initiatives. We had our first International Dental Summit to talk about the first initiative, Dentistry. It was a sound success where leaders from 3 countries came together to talk about how we can implement this new technology. I can tell you that by today, 50 states of the United States have that solution in hand, and in Canada, it's coming. Quebec has just legalized that practice. There's some guidelines. Please follow your local rules. It's a great news. Our voice has been heard. Together, we don't need to fight. All we need to do is to look forward. In France, I'm pretty sure that with Dr. Faux on the line, they will be pushing for it. He will have America backing him if he needs help. This week, we'll be addressing the Aftermath initiative started by Dr. LACOSTE and myself, and also the WELL initiative, which is something you don't want to miss. And I'm glad today to report to you that we're going to have a 4th initiative, the Dominic initiative. We'll be coming back on this later, but yes, expect that summit to happen. We had an emergency session this morning to have a 5th initiative, the LACOSTE initiative, which will take care of all of you, how to address us coming back into our clinics safely and without having to spend crazy costs to just upgrade everything post-COVID. Follow us. I am so proud to be here with you, accompanying you through this crisis. With your help, I think that nothing is unreachable. I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the office. I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the office. Hi everyone, welcome to the office. Today, this morning, we have the privilege to meet with Dr. Krell. Dr. Jerry Krell has been introduced as an overachiever. So yes, I'm putting the pressure up, but with the few exchanges we had, I think that he can take the heat. Dr. Krell, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Bach, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So for those who listen to us, why are we telling you that you're an overachiever? Can you just justify that?
Yeah, I have a combined background, so it's a little bit non-traditional, if you will. I'm an entrepreneur, so I do a lot of work with startups. I'm a clinical dentist, so I do practice general dentistry, and I have a business management background as well. So naturally, coming from those 3 different paths, I'm involved in a lot of things. Hence, maybe the the tag overachiever.
And mostly the fact that you have more than one hat, does that help you through this crisis, or mainly it's going to push you further down the road because you're doing so many things at once?
Well, it doesn't help me sleep any better at night, I'll tell you that. But if anything, there's less sleep. But certainly it gives me something to focus on. And many of the businesses that are in my portfolio, I've established a portfolio of about a few over a dozen now. Most of them are in dentistry. Several are in healthcare. Some have nothing to do with either. But many have had to pivot through this difficult time. And they've either pivoted to, fight COVID-19 in some way, shape, or form directly, or they've pivoted to, hibernate, put it on the shelf, be able to come back later.
12 enterprise. I thought I was an overachiever. No, I don't want to talk to you. But for the people who listen to us, and many they are dentists, how can this help them? So is there any of your business that can help them through this crisis, or can they learn something from your attitude to get out of this crisis? Because most of our peers dentists are paralyzed at this stage.
Yeah, so I think let's address attitude first, and then let's go into some of the ventures that I have that I do think can help. From an attitude perspective, you just, in this particular period of time, it's high levels of patience, high levels of analytics. You need to have calculated moves, but you can't be afraid to fail. You have to go out there and try things. They're going to be very different from the way you've done things in the past. You may have had a very specific workflow through your office, operational throughput through your office in the past. A certain number of patients per hour, a certain amount of time they wait in the waiting room, a way in which they schedule their appointments, a way in which they pay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can't be afraid to change any of those things. You kind of have to look at, any way that you can, adjust what you're currently doing to fit the times. That tends to be difficult in the dental space. We have these rigid protocols, and some of them are for good reason. Things like infection control of the utmost importance these days. But others are, experiential, and the patient experience that is being, demanded today is different than what it was just a couple of months ago. Patients want confidence. They want safety, right? They do need care. They may be in pain. They may have emergencies, or they may have other, non-urgent procedures that they want to get done, but they need to know that wherever they go is a safe place. So I think it is a high focus on experience, and that means changing some of the things that you used to do a different way to match the time. So I think that kind of, is my perspective on attitude, during this time.
But
Go ahead. Yeah.
How do you cope with the fact that we are, and you said yourself, we are bound by very rigid protocols, and then we have to try and afford to fail? How do you cope with this?
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? There's a gap there, and it's usually because people are stuck on, if I fail, there's this big cost, right? There's this loss, and that loss is going to hurt me, right? It really isn't as big a loss that's going to hurt you right now. It's the lack of a gain that's going to hurt you, right? So you have to look to, hey, I'm going to and just bits and pieces, right? Bite-sized bits, take it one day at a time. We're going to go in on Monday. I'm going to train my staff, before that, and we're going to try this new thing, this new way that they're going to sign up for appointments, this new way that they're going to wait, this new way that they're going to come into the chair one by one. And if you just minimize it down to one day and not look at this is how it's going to be forever, then you have, a really good shot to experiment. You also need to listen.
But I love the mindset. And you're talking about the lack of a gain. Tell me, if we have to give our peers dentists one gain to score right from the beginning, what would that be?
One gain. Well, it's a pretty big bucket.
You open it.
But I think if you can get your patients and your staff to say, hey, that was good. That worked. That felt good, right? That's really what you're after here. The patient to go through the process and to say, yeah, that worked for me, right? I felt confident. I felt safe the whole time. Your staff to say, yeah, this could really work. I think we can keep patients safe. I feel good about what we're doing here. I think it's that kind of feedback, that you're looking for. That's the big gain in the short term anyway. The long-term gain is a scalable way to move through the next month or 2 months, not to get caught up in that long time period, but you're looking for a way that you can move forward, and you're going to have to try on different sizes, different sneakers to figure out what fits and what feels good.
You know that we're coming from the same background. I love the fact you say that. Go aim for the feel-good thing. But now I have the chance to have somebody with my mindset that I can test. So please, allow me to squeeze you out. But
sure.
For most of our peer dentists, they have been trained very rigidly in a square environment. And the feeling good thing is often bullshit to them. They rely on science. They rely on facts. And I'm with you. But now I have the chance to squeeze somebody else. How do you cope with the feeling good and the bullshit mentality that's coming with it?
Yeah, I think one of the big things that lacks in dentistry, and you'll hear from some of the ventures that I'm involved in that have had such a consumer experience, focus to them. You get into this mindset of, facts, OSHA protocols, this, that, and the other. And it can be very, very hard to break away from that. And yet, look, there are some facts out there. The CDC has some guidance, the FDA has some guidance, but to be honest, if you sit there searching for facts, you're gonna get lost and you're gonna get stuck. They conflict each other. They don't keep up with the times. It's just too difficult. You get caught in quicksand. At the end of the day, you have patients that need a particular service. If you are authorized to open in your particular state, province, region, country, if you're authorized to open up your practice, you go ahead and do that. And you need to do it the way that you feel is right. This is where kind of your professional judgment comes in, and there's no longer, necessarily one, governing body that says this is right and this is wrong. We're in a period here where no one quite knows. So, you need to go out there and do something using your best judgment that makes your staff and your patients feel that it's right. So I think, yeah, there are facts, and, you need to look into the PPE products that you bring in, and, the other infection control measures, and make sure that, they're top products, and, they're set to do what they're intended to do. But, how you put it all together, how you take each of those products, how you take each of the software elements you use, and ultimately put patients and your staff into the mix, that's all you. That's how you manage it.
Thank you so much for taking the hard seats.
Sure.
But maybe if I summarize all of this, is what you tell me, it's look for a feel good right away from the start, and then be a doctor, and act like one, because mainly they call people doctor because you're giving comfort, you're healing them. And this way goes beyond the fact that you're treating the teeth or treating the health or treating an illness. This is mainly what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this two sides of the same coin statement, which is, people don't know what they don't know. That's true. But you also need to be able to rely on yourself. I think this is very similar to me, how people used to navigate, going on a road trip, right? You used to rely on, a while back, a map, right? A paper map. Then it was MapQuest. You could print out a set of steps or directions.
That was a long
and
time
now
ago.
all of a sudden, right? Yeah. Now all of a sudden it's, everything is digitized. You have it on your phone or in your car, and it tells you every single turn and what to look out for. And if you try to go from that, back to, no directions, for example, or minimal directions, it can be hard because you're used to being fed, a lot of the answers by something else. But you remember, if you've been a driver for long enough, you remember, I used to do that. I know I can tell, these roads travel east, west, north, south. I do have a sense of direction, right? And that's what it is here too. The dentists need to call on their internal compass, their internal sense of direction, right? And kind of step out of the world a little bit of, well, OSHA tells me this, and FDA tells me that, and CDC tells me this, right? You don't have clear direction anymore in this world, right? So you have to kind of rely a little bit on that internal, how do I navigate without, completely digitized, internal navigation.
I like to double down. And I'll take the opportunity. We have to remind ourselves that we're governed by peers. And when we say peers, that means that you're one of them too. So I think that at this stage, you have to establish a dialogue and be part of the dialogue. You cannot just wait for direction anymore or for a directive anymore, because nobody knows exactly what's going on. And it is a time for us to stand up and just to be part of the dialogue. I'm not saying that you need to revolve, but you need to be part of the dialogue more than just to listen to what's need to be done. And I think that you and I are slowly getting to this. The words are not coming as the same, but we're looking to contribute and to be useful.
Yeah, it's a little bit less about being reactive, which I think are, a lot of healthcare systems fall into the sink of, and a little bit more about being proactive.
So, sir, enough of the hot seats, because thank you so much to have that courage and the fortitude to do this.
Sure.
How can you help us? What are your tools, or what are your special instruments that will just get us through easily?
Yeah, sure. So a few ventures, I'm involved in, and we can also, bring some of these founders on too, in their own session, can kind of double click into these further than I can, time may allow to go today. But one of them is Supply Clinic. So Supply Clinic is a Chicago-based online marketplace for dental supplies, and has now become a national hub for personal protective equipment, PPE. It's essentially a marketplace of trusted products right? So no gray market, no unauthorized third-party sellers. And you can find your masks, your gowns, your gloves, any element of PPE. And the kind of the key element there is you can compare items from the same seller. You can compare items from different sellers, and it's all price transparent, right? You can kind of check out multiple items from multiple sellers at the best price point in one order. Right? So you have a real unique opportunity to source personal protective equipment. This is for the individual practice, the multi-location practice, or the dental support organization. They do have an enterprise suite level solution that's really a full stack procurement solution. So that's Supply Clinic. If you're looking to the supply chain, a lot of problems there. There's price gouging, there's counterfeiting, there's unreliable lead times, there's high minimum order quantities that are unreasonable for certain size businesses. This is a business that really kind of zooms in on those problems and works to disintermediate some of the unnecessary intermediaries, and therefore finds different efficiencies in helping you source the supplies you need in your office.
Are there any reviews from peers about the products, which one works, one doesn't work?
Yeah, there are the site host testimonials. There are a variety of different ways to look at the quality of an item. You can take a look on each item's item page. There's a description there. Many of these items are items you'd recognize. They work with small to very large manufacturers, as large as 3M, small to mid-sized distributors. So you're talking hundreds of sellers and over 100,000 SKUs. So a lot of these are very mainstream products. They're just offered in a price competitive way at a digital kind of fingertip, in order to order.
So you're telling us that, because there's the 3 points I think that dentists will be looking at this stage is the quality of the product, the price of the product, and also is that available? Because it's something to talk about product, but if it's in shortage, that's going to be another problem. So how Supply Clinic can help our dentists through this crisis? Is the quality you tell me is the same? Price point, you said that it is competitive or lower? Is that what I get from it?
Yeah, so I would say on quality, you have kind of a gold standard here, right? It eliminates all of the unauthorized sellers. So these are authorized sellers of dental supplies. These are people who've been serving this industry in most cases for a very long time. Every product is scrutinized by the team before it is hosted on the platform. So you have already this threshold of high quality products before they even get to the platform.
And are we talking about dentists?
What's that?
The team that are scrutinizing the product, are they dentists or are they?
Yeah, so on the team, first of all, I'm a key operator and the VP of business development there. So you have me. Also, one of the co-founders of the team is a periodontist. So you have multiple dentists involved in the review and selection of the product. They also have to meet a variety of other criteria as a seller. So the quality is there. It's also the quality of the experience too, right? So there are complex algorithms in place to, make sure that sellers with good behavior, right? They're updating things on time. They're delivering a good experience. They are, escalated higher in search and in listings, than those who, misperform on an order here and there. So you have, levels of quality on both the product and on the service. In terms of price, it is finally you have a marketplace where there are actual sort of free market economics, right? A dynamic marketplace. All the sellers can see each other's price points, right? Everybody knows what's competitive with each other. That's a new thing in the dental industry in a lot of countries, including the USA, right? Where currently you have, the market is owned by a few big distributors. There is no price transparency. Things are marked up, really high, 30-40%, in often cases. Here you have an opportunity where sellers can play on an even playing field, right? Everybody's putting their prices up and each other can see it. So you are gonna get, price competitive. We do price comparisons for multi-location offices and DSOs, and we're often able to, kind of run their previous invoices against our, current offerings. And, with similar products or alternatives, be able to, beat prices by 20-30%.
Wow.
So there's definitely, and you can compare on a product by product basis, seller by seller basis. So there's definitely price point there. And then you had a third category too. I'm sorry, I forgot. What was it?
The availability, is there always stock, or we're gonna go and run into shortage because the big distributor has just order everything?
Yeah, the nice thing about Supply Clinic, it still has that, it still is a smaller company than these massive distributors, right? So it feels more agile. The company it's a two-sided platform, right? Of course, you have the buyers on one side, but the company has partnership levels with the sellers on the other side, right? So there is this constant feeding of, minimums or maximums that they want on the product, how many products are left, making sure to clearly mark things as back ordered or remove the SKU entirely if it's not available. So you'll find the website is very well manicured.
I love this. I'm jealous. You're very active. And you know
that, well, we're on the
I never get jealous of anybody.
This is the tip of the tip of the iceberg. This is a great one, right? Especially now, it's critically important.
I will start to love you. Now I hate you.
My name is Jeremy Krell, and I'm going to show you Supply Clinic. To visit Supply Clinic, go to supplyclinic.com in your browser. Supply Clinic is the online marketplace for dental supplies. On Supply Clinic, you can shop like a normal e-commerce experience. On the home page, you'll see that there are popular items, top categories, and trending deals, followed by some testimonials that we have from customers, popular supplies, and more functionality down below. You can search any product by manufacturer number or name here, and you'll be able to see it without signing in or without an account. So for example, if I wanted to see N95 masks, I would simply type N95 and search, and it would pull up 2 N95 mask options. Returning to the home page, if you haven't made an account yet, you can make an account by clicking sign up in the upper right hand corner. You'll be asked for some very basic information. If you're signing up for a dental practice, you'll be asked to put the doctor's name and the license information. The license information will be verified, and once your account is verified, you'll be able to see all possible products. Some products are restricted based on license type, so it's important to put in the license number. Since I have an account, I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Once signed in, your home page changes. You have products that are recommended for you, top categories, and recent orders, and then similar information below. You'll be able to view your order history, look into your favorites and account settings, and add any item to your cart. Supply Clinic also offers an enterprise suite. An enterprise suite is for the DSO or multi-location dental practice. So if I sign out, I can then sign back in as a DSO customer. As a DSO, there are two accounts, a corporate account and a satellite account. In the corporate account, you're able to approve pending order requests, view the order history, view the list of all of your satellite offices, adjust your formulary, and view performance metrics for your organization. You're also able to log in as a satellite office. As a satellite office, you're able to shop the marketplace, shop just trusted products, which are your products on a formulary that your corporate has set, view your pending order requests, view previously ordered items, track your shipments, and view the performance metrics for your individual office. Supply Clinic also offers a number of other resources. For example, Supply Clinic has a blogs page at supplyclinic.com/posts. I've recently posted a blog post on the KN95 facts you should know, inside of which there are many useful links on this new subject that has hit the dental industry. Thank you for listening, and be sure to let us know if you have any questions. Please check out supplyclinic.com. Thank you.
This is mostly available in the United States. It's not to say that, other options in North America could be available soon. This is mostly a United States product.
Because you know that you're teasing a lot of my public, and now you just leave them. You're teasing them, and there's nothing they can do.
Suffice it to say, Canada is a near-term prospect. You have a lot of the same manufacturers and distributors there, so it is definitely a possibility. But there are some unique market challenges. Some provinces require different languages. There's actually different thresholds on the quality of product.
One is Quebec.
Yeah.
as soon as you open that door up, you know that we have colleagues in France that would love to access how we do things over here. And we have Summit talking about, how this works, but to know where you can buy this product, that's exactly what people need. I'll be working with you if you want, but you have to bring this outside the United States, because right now we're teasing the world.
Totally. And you know what? I think we should bring the founder or co-founders on here, and I think it'd be a great topic of discussion with them as well.
For the people who are listening, can you give me the web address so they can just try it on right away?
Yeah, you can visit Supply Clinic at supplyclinic.com. That's supplyclinic.com.
Okay. And even if they're not from the United States, they can still go look for the product that you recommend.
You can. Yeah, you can absolutely go look, price compare. You can access it. To see or purchase certain products that are restricted to different types of professionals, you'll have to enter in your license information. So this is how we avoid products being sold, especially right now, to non-essential, or just general consumer bodies, because we of course want to reserve this for frontline healthcare, dental. So there is a license requirement to see some products, but yeah, you can absolutely go and search it just like any.
And let me guess, if you don't have an American license, you're out.
You just need a verifiable license. So if it can be looked up in some database, or if you send it to us, we're happy to verify. So we're pretty flexible. It doesn't just have to be a U.S. dentist or U.S. medical license, but we do need to be able to verify it somewhere.
I'll be making sure of that. But maybe we'll talk about being part of the dialogue, and this is being part of the dialogue of peers. Thank you so much to have come in with a free market and also a free speech place where we can exchange. Because I think that the crowd by itself is always more wiser than one or two people. And this is the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it opens up the market in a new way.
So that was just one solution. You have more?
Yeah. So the next, and in no particular order, Simplify. So I'm the head of marketing there. Simplify offers really 4 products that are bundled into one ready to go off the shelf virtual practice in a box. Simplify offers 24/7 live chat that goes on your website, any website. That it offers scheduling, if you like, direct scheduling inclusive. It offers a telehealth solution called Connect, and it has just about out the door a payment solution as well. So you have sort of revenue cycle management, you have 0% merchant fees, you have payment plans possible. So you really have a virtual practice in a box solution, ready to go kind of retail healthcare.
And we've been through a lot of teledentistry companies. Can you tell me what's the difference between Simplify and a solution that people can just call and have access to a dentist, or have a Zoom kind of connect to your clinic?
Yeah. I think it's a great question. First and foremost, it's a HIPAA compliant platform. I think secondly, it's the connectivity to the other products that are paired with it, right? So the Connect platform itself can do a couple of things that are critical. It collects consent, right? You absolutely need to be able to collect consent, and not only just consent, but consent for digital health, right? So that piece is taken care of for you. It can collect payments, as I mentioned before, which will occur even before the teledentistry appointment starts, right? It has a digital waiting room capability. So you have patients kind of queuing up. It's available on all devices. It'll ping both the patient and the doctor conveniently when the appointment's ready to go. So it syncs well with the live chat. So you can have live chat capture a prospective patient on the website and collect their insurance and billing information, put them into the schedule them or put them into the digital waiting queue, and have them get directly into an appointment. So I think it's the connectivity to some of the other products. You have the ability to document your case notes in screen while you're talking to the patient. It has a direct integration with some of the EHR systems that are out there. So you really have tie-ins to multiple products. I think one of the big problems in dentistry, again, is to do one process end to end, you need 8 different software systems, right? And that's really super inconvenient. They don't talk to each other very well, right? This is a centralized solution, ready to go and fits the current COVID crisis.
I have a question because a lot of dentists has been writing to me and said that, do you know what a perfect solution to just digitalize all your files? So a lot of dentists don't have access to the files. It's in the clinic, and sometimes the clinics it's not reachable for whatever reason. Is the virtual practice going to be a solution so people can just start to upgrade the database into something that they can bring with them everywhere they go?
Yeah, it's a complicated technical problem, so I don't want to overstate here. It really depends on the solution that you have operating in your practice. Some people are still on paper charts. Of course, there's a whole conversion element there. Other people are on server-based local solutions in their office. In many cases, those can be resolved with different portals and pathways into records, and others are on cloud-based platforms, which of course are the easiest to tap into in many cases, complex in some ways, but in terms of where they're actually hosted, theoretically accessible. So they're all different levels of where people are at. So I don't want to necessarily profess that there is one solution for everybody there, but certainly this can be a solution to address many of those situations and be able to allow people to really kind of conduct their teledentistry business from the comfort of their home.
And please tell me that's available not just in the States.
That is available everywhere, inclusive of Canada.
Thank you.
And you'll see some partnerships start to roll in Canada with some large legacy brand names. So I think that'll be start to become a household name, I think, in dentistry in Canada.
For people who are watching, we would love to share a screen, but since Dr. Krell is logged from a phone, it's not possible. We might have to redo another one and to go through each one in details. But to just completely simplify, what is the price point of that product?
Yeah, so it's being offered on a free trial to start. So depending on when you come in, you'll be able to try it out for free. And then it's a SaaS-based model, so you pay a monthly subscription fee. That fee is $349.99 per month US dollars. The founder there is an orthodontist. I think having him on and having him kind of do a double click through some of the demo would be a fantastic next step on that one as well.
We promise you to be following on this, because I think next time it's you're like hands-on. Let's have somebody to just go through the services. And $350, it's expensive when you're looking at an online service, but when you compare that to your fees running an office, it's penny on the dollar.
Exactly. It's all about how you account for it. I think that's another trap dentists fall into. There's a lot of mental accounting that goes on, as well as sort of trying to account for something as an expense, as an office expense, when really it could be a marketing expense. This thing is a marketing insurance solution for you, right? A lot of dentists go and spend tons of dollars on marketing to drive people to their website, but who's capturing them, People typically stay for 11 seconds. They typically shop 6 different websites. They typically shop nights and weekends. Whose office is capturing those people? Almost none. This solution answers in 7 seconds or less on the website, and works nights, weekends, 24/7. So when you look at it, you're putting a price tag on an entirely virtual front of house or front desk. And that certainly is way more valuable. If you look at it from a services perspective, depending on the plans and reimbursements and countries you're in, might be a little bit different, but you do 3 or 4 appointments in a month, you've already covered the cost of that for the entire month.
My name is Jeremy, and I'm going to show you Simplify. To view Simplify, go to simplify.com. On Simplify's homepage, you'll be able to see our different product options. Simplify has a product called Amplify, which is 24/7 live chat. It also has a product called Connect, which is a telehealth platform, as well as a product called Scheduling, which helps your patients book appointments. We also have a new product coming out called Payments. You'll be able to see some of our stats, as well as our trusted partners and testimonials. If you're interested, you can fill out the form down here below for more information. The Simplify website is HIPAA compliant. To look at some of our products a little bit more closely, you can visit the Amplify page. It will talk to you about being available 24/7, accessible to everybody, customizing an approach for your practice, keeping it in the cloud, growing your practice, and responding quickly. Amplify responds in 7 seconds or less and can answer questions for patients because real humans are answering questions based off of a survey that your practice fills out. Our scheduling platform, there are multiple ways to schedule. A patient can schedule by themselves or with our expert Smile specialists. We're even integrated to some electronic health record systems if you would like to set up that service. Our Connect product allows you to meet with patients face-to-face on a HIPAA-compliant telehealth platform. You're able to collect consent, you're able to collect billing and payments information, and you're able to take notes while you talk to your patient. To schedule a demo, you can simply click the calendar at the bottom of the page. Simplify also offers several value-add resource centers. Simplify has a resource center at simplify.co/corona where you can find information about telecoding and all insurance coding guidance. You can see our founder, Dr. Ryan Hungate. You can search latest news on Corona and stats from the Health Policy Institute by the American Dental Association, information on reopening your practice, and information on practice operations regarding FDA, OSHA, and other requirements. There are resources by specialty as well as general resources. You can try our Connect product for free today. We also offer a resource center for Amplify. This resource center allows you to download marketing assets for your patients. We suggest an email for patients. We suggest follow-up calls. We suggest a sign to post on your door, as well as social media assets, and you can download and use all of these if you're a current customer. Similarly for Connect, we also have marketing resources. You're able to have a sign for your door, an email for existing patients ready to go, a voicemail script, and social media assets that you can send to all of your followers. Thank you, and I hope that you'll try Simplify.
I was just scared to connect with somebody today and said he will be trying to sell a bunch of stuff to my public. Then I connect with an overachiever who said you're way off the box and you have 12 companies. And now I look bad. I hate that. But we would promise everybody that if you like, we're gonna just come back and dig deeper into each of those solutions.
Yeah, we'll do a deeper dive. So the third one that
Yeah,
I'm
but
involved in is,
before you start,
go ahead, yeah.
You have to think, because you know that usually everything in media is done by Active 3. So you help our dentists right away off the bat to say that you can go compare your product on the free market. And this is just for dentists of the USA. But again, whatever you need will be available, and the information will be available too. Then for those people who are looking at, I have to take the 2.0 evolution of dentistry. You have one solution in one box called Simplify. And it is $1 million. It's $350 a month US dollar, but you have a practice. How they can get to Simplify?
Yep, you go to simplify.com. So SIMPLIFEYE.com.
That was easy. How can you mention
simple,
by
right?
one word name.com?
Simplify.
Oh, okay. And here's my challenge to you. If you have to choose amongst your toolbox, the third product, which is going to be the last one of this interview, but something that people can relate to and say that, okay, I want Dr. Krell to come back because I want to have the rest of his toolbox. What would that be?
Yeah, well, the categories are the following, right? For the next choice. So I'm going to let you pick the category, and I'll choose the company. The categories are you have an e-commerce, at home oral health products, which is a big company. You may recognize the name of. You have mobile dentistry, which is now doing mobile COVID testing. That's in the United States. And then you have an AI, artificial intelligence platform that's helping to read your x-rays and has, a number of, contact-free benefits in this world. So which of those categories, popular, consumer-based e-commerce, mobile dentistry COVID testing, or AI, would you like to go into here?
Good. Now people will be hating me. You're pretty good. I love this, by the way. Thank you, Jeremy, to share that much. I think that going through, mobile dentistry, when you talk about testing COVID, everybody wants to have a peek of what's going on and how can we move forward. But since it's just USA, I like to not just keep teasing our dentists in our public. So let's cover this in another one. AI, we've been through this with one of your friends, Dr. Pulver, who talked about, and that it's not for an immediate solution. It's for the future. Once in the future, it's 3 months from now. To us now is the future because we're looking at a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
I would have picked e-commerce, but now that we have a broader public here, I would like to hear what you have to offer to the grand public.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been involved with the company QUEBEC for about 3 years now. QUIP. QUEBEC, while it may not market directly in Canada, certainly sells to all 50 states as well as 120 countries worldwide. QUEBEC makes the subscription electric toothbrush that now pairs with a subscription toothpaste, subscription floss, and a variety of other products. It's an oral health company in general.
And how does that help in this circumstance of the pandemic?
Yeah, I think, look, in general, dentists want their patients come in, so do hygienists want their patients coming in once every 6 months, right? They want them, performing good habits, but that's just not really possible for them to come in to the office, and there aren't, necessarily any companies focused on their habits, right? Are they brushing 2 minutes twice a day? Do they enjoy brushing? Do they floss once a day? Do they brush evenly each time they brush? Do they change those brush heads every 3 months, right? If people feel unsafe going into a retail store to get their toothbrush, or going into the dentist or hygienist for their 6-month appointment, what are they to do, right? And this is kind of a perfect solution. You have at-home delivery of your oral care products and a platform that's going to help you follow up on your oral care routine and provide you consistent oral care education.
But this is direct to the public, so many the dentist has no influence on it.
Yeah, it's direct to both dentists as well as to the general public. So QUEBEC sort of has three sales channels. One is e-commerce, right? It's website. The other is, retail. It's, for example, it's in all 1,800 Targets nationwide. And the third is through dentists. So you actually can buy QUEBECs in wholesale packages. So you have kind of those three options. QUEBEC has about 3 to 4 million subscribed users. So it's definitely out in the general public and worldwide community as an option. It's very affordable. So, for example, you can get your brush head delivered to your home once every 3 months on a $5 delivery basis. That includes the head, a new battery for the brush, and shipping within the U.S. Certainly, if there are different tariffs in place, you might need to account for that.
That's $5 a month.
$5 once every 3 months. $5 a quarter.
Wow. Okay, you should have started with that.
So very affordable. The base product is $40 MSRP. That's a metal handle brush. There's a plastic handle brush. It's $25. So you have a very affordable price point for an electric toothbrush that delivers the products to your home, that keeps you on your habits, and that provides you education.
Let me challenge you a little bit. Is there any way that dentists, let's say that I'm setting up Simplify and I have my own practice online, and then I still can resume yet, and I would like to keep that contact with my patient. Is there any way for me to go on QUEBEC and say that this is the list of things I recommend for this kind of patient, and for people with special needs, I recommend this kind of list, and be part of the fact that they be subscribing, but through a prescription of mine? Is that something possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot in that bucket to unpack. We certainly have providers broadly, and we support them in doing so, recommending QUEBEC. So we provide them with, marketing assets and a marketing toolkit. And so they can, go ahead and on their own website or their own social media channels, their own emails to their patients, they can recommend QUEBEC, and we will help them facilitate recommending QUEBEC to their patients. They can certainly purchase them wholesale. And be able to give them to an individual patient or refer them to the website. They can do that as well. There'll be a slight benefit to the patient. They'll get their first refill for free. So you have that option. You really could think of QUEBEC as a marketing engine, right? How do you convert patients, right, on their treatment plan? How do you attract new patients in the first place, right? If you're advertising that you're working with QUEBEC, hey, get a free toothbrush if you do, X, Y, or Z. That's a really good way to bring in new patients or convert them, on their treatment plans.
And while we're on the subject and we're online, so we have to be careful. I have to remind everybody that it is illegal for dentists to profit from the sales of whatever they prescribe. So many of this at this stage is purely a sharing of information.
Yeah, and those laws will differ, of course, different countries, different states.
But it's just like drugs. You cannot have a kickback because you prescribe more one drug or the next. So this is the same thing. You cannot just sell a brand of toothbrush and say that you're going to have a kickback. So for the public who listen to us, it's like this is mainly a way for dentists to keep the relevancy even in your home. And for dentists, I'm just around here to remind yourself that, okay, there's some line you don't want to cross.
Yeah, it's a marketing expense at the end of the day, right? And actually our most popular program with dentists, although some do sell the brushes, depending on the country or state that they're in, most of them are gifting these brushes to their patients, right? This is not, a scenario where a dental office is looking to, even in cases where it is legal to do so, generate a profit, right? We do dental services, right? Dental services are fairly well compensated. Selling toothbrushes, or any product for that matter, isn't going to run the bottom line or top line of a practice, right? So the real goal you should be thinking here is in terms of marketing and patient experience.
You told me that the most expensive package is $40 US a year. That's it. Is that what?
That's for the base toothbrush, and that's for the base toothbrush, right? And then you would pay. You'd have a toothbrush head on it. And then you'd pay for the next 3 quarters. So you'd have, 3 $5 charges. So you'd be at, for 1 year for the base product, you'd be at $55.
Okay, so this is mainly the cost of one emergency consultation. My question to you, and have to be very careful how we're gonna answer this. Is there a way that insurance will cover those fees if it's coming?
Yeah, it's a tough question. It also depends on the country. There really, in the United States, for example, there really is not a dental code that's reimbursable, to cover this, broad spectrum. So that's that's not something that's really available. Even some FSAs, HSAs don't cover this type of product. That's not to say that we're not open to partnerships. We entertain a lot of conversations in the dental insurance space, and I think there are a lot of ways to make this a covered or even more affordable product. So I wouldn't hesitate any to reach out with those kinds of ideas. But to have it, sort of streamlined, all insurance companies universally, it would be too difficult.
I see patients also, and if I see a patient say that you will need to brush your teeth and to change the head of the brush once a month because you don't.
Once every 3 months. Yeah.
Well, this is something that I provide, just like I'm prescribing some pills, and they have to do so. Things will get worse.
Yeah.
And you say that many dentists provide those as just an additional benefit to the patient. Would that be legal? And I'm asking for me to charge an emergency consultation to my patient about maybe $55 to make sure that I don't make a dime on it, even if I provide a service. And if in exchange they receive this package, is that something legal or something that can be debated in the ethic base?
Yeah, I'm sure it depends on the country and the state. In the United States, which I know the best, well, even there's some states that don't allow balance billing. There are, giving a gift, you can give a gift, but there are some provisions. For example, Medicaid, the public solution, there's a limit, a dollar value on the gift size you can give. So $55 would, potentially be over that limit. To make one clarification, usually the dentist, in the case where they're gifting the brush, will gift the starter pack, which includes the brush, but the subscription where the patient goes on to pay will be on the patient. So you're really talking about a $40 value, rather than a $55 value. But it can be possible. It can also trigger problems. It depends. So I hesitate to give a blanket law. Yeah.
We're talking about $55. It might be not go under the radar, but $40 might pass. Is that what you tell me?
Yeah, in some states it could, or with some insurance providers it could. They all have different thresholds. In the United States, the commercial insurers don't really have a threshold that I'm aware of. But it's the public ones. Medicaid mostly. Medicare has pretty limited dental benefits, but Medicaid has strict provisions. In some cases, those numbers can be as low as $25 value, right? So giving a $40 product would trigger a problem. In other cases, it's higher, or in some cases, there's a gray area there, right? So it can vary a little bit. You really need to know your particular local or federal law, to be able to do it. In many states, it's no problem to sell it for under or the same. Under might be a problem for QUEBEC. The same cost, where you're making your money back, could be a legal scenario in some states, and yet there are some that allow you to sell it for more, and make money off it. There's really no reason to sell it for more because you'd be buying it at a wholesale discount. So even selling it at its MSRP, you would be making money, right? So,
but you mentioned
you have different options.
It's irrelevant, and to stay in contact with your patient. I mean, this is what we're looking at this stage: is how can I just keep reminding my patient that I'm there for them, even if I'm not there?
Yeah. And this is a really kind of nice way. This is something you can really provide them. If you buy a big enough bulk order, you can even have your name etched into the metal handle of the brush. So there are ways to customize the brushes for big enough orders.
My name is Jeremy, and I'm going to show you QUEBEC, the subscription electric toothbrush and oral health company. Simply visit getquip.com. On QUEBEC, you can shop all of our existing products. To shop our existing products, click Shop in the upper right-hand corner. Our products will load. To get started, you'd buy a starter set. We have brushes in metal and plastic, as well as some special edition brushes like all black that are for the Global Dental Relief charity. We also have a line of brushes and toothpaste for kids. QUEBEC offers refill plans. Once every 3 months, you can have your toothbrush, head, your battery, your floss refilled. Those are $5 per quarter. Beyond the brush, we have a refill canister of floss, we have a refresh bag to carry your toiletries, small toothpaste, travel toothpaste, and replacement cap, as well as a solar battery charger. With QUEBEC, you can sign in either as a professional or as a customer. If you sign in as a customer, you'll see your account summary, any payments and credits that you've made, payment plans, your order history. You can connect with your dentist if your dentist isn't already on QUEBEC, and you can manage other accounts to gift. Similarly, you can sign in as a professional. There's a verification process to become a professional. Within this account, you can manage your own QUEBEC products. You can get a trial set, which I've already done. You can invite your patients to join QUEBEC with a referral bonus. And you can connect with your patients in a variety of community-based ways. For QUEBEC professionals, there's also a wholesale program. Reach out to help@getquebec.com to learn more. Similarly, QUEBEC has an active blog. There are many blog posts about very important dental topics in today's time. Check out QUEBEC's blog, as well as get on its either consumer newsletter, The Mouth Off, or on its professional newsletter, The Cusp, which go out once a month. Thank you for your time, and I hope that you'll try out QUEBEC.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bang. Welcome to the office. Welcome to MDEX. We are in the midst of the confinement. I did escape. No worries, I'm all alone by myself. But mainly, I am eager to resume my work and to welcome all of you back to clinic. This is addressed to all my patients, to all my colleagues, and also to all my peers. If there's one thing that I've learned through this crisis, is that going forward, we need to share, we need to stay together, and we need to consult each other in order to find the better practice, the better way to move forward. Yes, all enterprises are fighting for their own survival, and if there's one thing that I've done for the last 2 months, it's asking for a break. It's calling my landlord, calling my banks, calling everybody to ask them for a break, knowing that it is hard for everybody. I'd like to thank all those who were very comprehensive and cut on our fees, cut on our payment while they themselves are fighting. For this, I thank you. Looking back at you, I know that you've been through the same thing, maybe even worse. So before you ask, yes, I'll be expecting for MDEX to cut you some break. Going through this, there's one man I met. His name is Dr. Paul Wallet. He did that about 10 years ago at the last recession. He found a way to keep the economy running, to save his practice, and also to be part of society to a better level. And I'm proud today to announce that the Wallet Initiative will be implemented by MDEX in Canada, and everything that we do will be passed on to all of you. To my patient, they will benefit that break. To our new patient, you're welcome to join to the effort and to join with a smile and a hope. To all my colleagues working with me, yes, there's a way to resume work. To all of you, my peers and colleagues, we'll be sharing with you everything that we've learned on the way, what we've learned, what worked, what didn't work. Because as I promised, this is not a competitive edge. It's a way to save all of us. It's a way to stay relevant in our industry. It's a way to stay relevant in our society. This is the Wealth Initiative. For those of you who missed the summit, it is available online for free. And for the rest of you, I am just eager to see you smile, to shake your hands, to give you a big hug. And yes, I'm a hugger, and the virus won't change that. I'm Dr. Back. Welcome to the office.
But in general, this is a really, really nice thing to provide your patient. It's very consumer friendly. There's a big following around it. People tend to really enjoy brushing with the brush, and it's super portable. Easy to store, easy to carry around. None of the complexity of a base or a charger or anything like that. It kind of sticks right to your mirror, which is nice. So it's a really kind of nice product for a dentist to provide. I think we all provide those little goodie bags, right? $1.50 or $2 in total. It has a tiny thing of, floss, a small travel size toothpaste, and a manual toothbrush in it. But where do those go, right? Those go under the sink, right? Those are in a storage bin for your next house guest, for when they forget their toothbrush, which in today's world, who knows when we'll have another house guest. Right. This is an electric toothbrush for you. For example, in the United States, 80% of the market uses a manual toothbrush, right? Having an upgrade to an electric toothbrush, I think the clinical results are clearly there. So you have an option to take 80% of the population and upgrade them to something that's more convenient during a time of crisis, where they can continue to think about you and your practice for doing that.
And so that everybody can just follow us at stage. Jeremy and I just met, and we exchanged online live. And this is not a marketplace where we're trying to push for product, which we're trying to find solutions that can help you bridge your way out of this crisis. So the whole idea of having this discussion is to have you included in it, and for you to make up your own mind. But I do believe that you need a way to rebuild that trust and that connection you're having with your patient. And I really like the fact that there's a way for you to forget about buying stuff and marketing, but just be part of their life. And for this, thank you, Jeremy. This is not marketing. This is a way that dentistry should have been like since day one. Not just an exchange of service and fees, not just trying to be white coat and say that, okay, I'll do just my part and the rest of it, I'll try to stay out of trouble. It's mainly how we can stay relevant to everybody that we touch.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Quip is a really nice solution where you can guide people over their sink every day, right? Even though you're not in person with them, they can't come to your office as often as they might like to, or you might like to see them. This is a situation where you can stay relevant right on their counter at home.
Something stupid out of the bat. Would that be cool if you brush your teeth and there's a projection in the mirror of you saying that, good job. And you get personalized that one.
Yeah, people definitely love, positive reinforcement. We should take that idea.
So to all of you at home, if you want more, because this is only a quarter of his toolbox. If you want more, write to us and ask for it. We'll be surely coming back to just go more in depth into each one of those. But I have to ask, how do you manage to be a dentist and to be on top of 12 enterprises? Because you're not a salesman of those enterprises. You're involved in those enterprises.
Yeah, well, first to go back to a previous point of yours, let's tell people how to get to Quip. You want to go to getquip.com, GETQUIP.com, and you'll be able to shop there. To answer your question, how to stay on top of it? Yeah, you have to get really good at time management. You have to be comfortable with not necessarily sleeping. I have a 20-month-old as well, right? So you have to be able to manage family, and other, other things you have going on in your life. But at the end of the day, when you do this a lot, you're able to scale and standardize what you're doing. And there are a lot of key contacts, in the dental industry. So, forming those key contacts, you can leverage them, across multiple ventures. There are a lot of structures that you learn and that you test and that you trial, and you can carry those things from in some shape or form from venture to venture, of course, always being cognizant of, confidentiality, but, real kind of, operational, intel and know-how only comes from experience, having done it, having succeeded, having failed, and bringing that back to the next venture that you're involved in. So I've gotten good at time management, and I've gotten good at, kind of scaling my structure and the stuff I know works.
Wow, that's a lot in about a minute and a half. That's very dense.
Well, it is the overachiever segment, right? I just wanted to live up to the to the title.
You did actually, because honestly, I thought I was an overachiever. Now I look bad. I look pretty bad, and I like that. Usually I read this online, and every time I've done it, I regret right after, and after that, I say, yeah, it's a good thing that we did it. I know that we had a summit about the overachievers about 2 weeks ago, and that I'm writing books every 2 weeks. I just finished my last one, is Relevancy, which is one for the dental industry, and maybe Dr. Poover will be joining in. But I'm looking forward for the next one, and overachiever was on the table. I would like to invite you, and since we just met, it's just kind of very crazy and funny. But if you would like to think of, if you want to join a book about overachieving, about how to help not just dentists, but many people to reinvent themselves, because this is mainly what's going to happen after this crisis. We will have to reinvent ourselves to adjust to the next, the new reality. I would love to have you on board.
Yeah, I would love to join. I'm flattered and honored. Congratulations on the progress you've made already. Dr. Pulver and I have worked together on many different projects. So definitely super excited to come in and support and be a part of the books. I think the last book I was involved in was about veganism, about how you eat, your nutrition, your diet. And so I'd love to do the same in dentistry.
If you can write as much as you speak and as fast, we have a book in a week.
Yeah, I think between the two of us, we probably have a few books there. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm falling behind here. This is the trace of the overachiever. Huh? As soon as you find somebody who's going to run faster, you don't want to shoot him down. You want to keep him there. So, okay, I'm going to have to keep my motivation on to just try to catch up and then try to pass him by.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Totally understand. You have to have those people, right? Super important for me too, to have, that role model, those people to aspire to, others that are doing things really well. We're dealing with some pretty complicated problems here. So you have to look at others. It can't just be you, solving this thing. It's definitely a team approach. It's an industry approach. A lot of societal changes need to happen. So yeah, totally need to look at others and what they're doing and what works.
And I usually finish all my interviews, because we had about half an hour. It's been an hour that we were talking, and we just covered the tip of the iceberg. But if I'm asking you, what would be your hope for our industry? Maybe from the solution that you are bringing on board, what would be your hope for the future?
Yeah, I always like to think there's a silver lining, right, to any, crisis or natural disaster that comes out of it. And as tragic as this has all been, the suffering that, real people have endured and that their businesses have endured through this time, you have to think what comes out of that, what's next. What I hope is that this is, an industry ripe for even more innovation, different innovations than we might have thought of before. For example, teledentistry very much took kind of a back seat, for years. It isn't a brand new concept. It just wasn't figured out. It didn't have adoption, and it's now been catapulted to the front of the conversation. How we look at our supply chain, are we happy with it? A conversation that's been catapulted, and very many others. So I'm hoping that, you know, out of all of this, we take a look at this industry and say, what are the things we want to be different, right? Do we have companies that are in that space working on that problem? How do we support those companies? Do we have solutions in our practice that actually talk to each other, right? That are end-to-end solutions, not just a discrete solution that you have to string together with other discrete solutions to, you know, hack a process, right? I think we need to take a hard look at what our life used to be, what the inevitable future now is going to be, which is different, and how we can, you know, fill that innovation. We've unfortunately lost some great companies and great employees, and, you know, great deals behind them. You know, we need to replace those with things that are really going to be, you know, part of the critical path to rebuilding dentistry, reopening offices, making people feel safe, making processes in the office efficient. We need to backfill those opportunities with new ones. So I think it's kind of going to be a shuffling of people. It's going to be a reprioritization of the innovations that are out there, and hopefully some new ones come in. So I'm excited for it.
Actually, the way I'm seeing this is, you know, everybody likes to be James Bond, and everybody like to have a purpose. But James Bond is doing this thanks to Q, who has a lot of the gadgets to provide. So Dr. Jeremy Krell can be Q to you. This is what we say. He has this lab of ideas of cool gadget, and it's all been think of from the perspective of being a dentist first. If you like James Bond, and you know that the movie has been postponed, but if you want to feel how it feels like, just find your Q.
Yeah, no, I think it's great advice. I love that. I love that comparison.
Dr. Jeremy, thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you'll be back pretty soon. And I think we just started friendship here, right? Online, on air. This is something that we'll have to keep feeding, because this kind of dialogue, I think, will propose our industry in the next phase of it. One with a dialogue, one with respect, one with the fact that we have to be active and be a peer in the discussion and the system. Yeah,
absolutely. Ditto. Definitely a good friend to have is you in the space, and I think your followers and listeners are really lucky. Love where this has gone, and looking forward to what we can do together in the future.
Just a little precision. I have no followers. I just have peers and friends.
Peers and friends, then.
Peers and friends.
I'm living right here and now, and I don't wanna miss out. Is this what life's all about? The world is calling and I'm listening. Yeah, I'm listening. I feel the freedom inside. Come on, let's go for a ride. I finally opened my eyes and I can see it so clearly. So clearly. Life is but a dream. And isn't it amazing? Oh, life can be amazing. I feel my heartbeat racing. I'll fly, soaring ever higher. I can light my inner fire, and then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? And then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? Watch what happens now. Sometimes we have what it takes, sometimes we make our mistakes, and now the journey awaits. So don't you wanna come with me? way to the top. We'll never break, never stop. And when we get to the spot, we'll know we made it there together. We'll remember forever that life is but a dream. And isn't it amazing? Oh, life can be amazing. Oh, I feel my heartbeat racing. I'll fly, soaring ever higher. I can light my inner fire, and then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? And then we'll see what happens now. What happens now? Watch what happens now. It's amazing, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. Whoa, it's amazing, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's amazing. Watch what happens now.